Okay, pretend for just a moment that you buy a brand new Ferrari. You're excited and you want to show it off, so you go pick up a friend. Now you're driving a few blocks and your friend looks over and realizes you haven't taken your car out of your first gear. So he addresses it and he's like, you know, this car has way more potential than to be stuck in just first gear. Let's pretend your iPhone, right here, is a Ferrari. And in today's video, I want to show you how to take your iPhone's camera out of its first gear with these 5 tips. Okay, so the first tip that I want to share with you is to actually adjust your settings in order to maximize the quality you can capture on your iPhone. So let's jump right into our settings. Scroll down to camera. And then we're going to go into record video. I personally like to shoot in 4K at 24 frames per second because that's going to give me the most cinematic look. Now, if you plan on slowing down your video later on in your edit, then yeah, go ahead and choose a 30 or 60 frames per second. We're going to scroll down to HDR video high efficiency. This is going to give you, like it says here, high dynamic range, including that Dolby Vision. We're going to exit and go back out. Now, obviously, there are many settings that you can adjust, and I'm not going to go over every single setting. I'm just going to go over the ones that actually improve your video quality by my personal choice. Feel free, if you want to play around with any other settings on your own, feel free to do that. So we're going to go down and we're going to go to exposure adjustment. Just make sure that's also toggled on, and that's it. We're going to exit out and go and make sure that your grid is actually selected. And we'll talk more about this later on in this video. And just make sure your lens correction is selected as well. This basically corrects the lens distortion, like it says, on the front and ultra wide camera. So if there's any distortion, your iPhone will automatically try and correct that as you're capturing your video. And that's it for the settings. You should be all set. Okay, so the next tip I have for you is to know your video orientation before you press record. Now, this is important because we've all been a victim of starting to shoot a video like this, and then you're not capturing enough, so then you switch it like this, and then your phone's just kind of like going all over the place, and it doesn't look good, and it does good for nobody, all right? So know before you start to shoot which orientation. Now, if you're shooting something for TikTok or IG Reels, YouTube Shorts, then yeah, it's socially acceptable to shoot like this. But pretty much for everything else, you're going to be shooting like this. Now, this is going to take some getting used to, I understand. But just keep that in mind next time you go to record your video, what orientation, which way you're going to hold your phone. The next tip I have for you is to focus on your composition. Now, if you notice back where I was showing you how to change your settings, I showed you to turn on your grid. Now, this grid is because of the rule of thirds. Now, the rule of thirds is a composition guideline that places your subject in the left or right third of an image, leaving the other 2/3 more open. So this is going to make a difference in your videos because it's going to compose it better, more pleasing to the eye, more pleasing to the audience, and it's just going to be an overall better video. Take a look at this. Okay, so in these examples, you're going to see the rule of thirds in the composition. You're going to see that it's more pleasing to the eye. Instead of just like staying right behind the subject, you're going to maintain the overall landscape. Like here, for example, you're going to still see the city, and you're going to stay focused on the subject, but it's just going to be composed so that it's more pleasing to the eye. The next tip I have for you is to control the lighting in your videos, and you can achieve this in 2 different ways. Okay, so first way I'm going to show you how to control your lighting is to use the exposure bar. So if you look at the middle of your left side of the screen, you're going to see an arrow. You can tap that arrow, and you're going to see a plus minus symbol on the top right of your phone screen. Tap on that, and then you're going to be able to control your exposure. So we're going to add some exposure, so make it brighter. Obviously, the higher it goes, the brighter the image gets, and the lower it goes, the darker the image gets. So that's one way you're going to be able to control the lighting in your video. Now, once you set it on that and you press record, it will stay in that exposure. All right. Now, the other way is to tap on my subject, which here is this little cartoon guy. Extra credit in the comments if you know who this is. Let me know in the comments. All right. So we're going to tap on him and hold. And then you're going to get this little like box that says AE/AF lock. And then also you're going to get a sun. Now this little sun, you can slide it up and it's going to make your image brighter. Or you can slide it down and it's going to make your image darker. So when I press record, it's not only going to stay in focus on this guy, but also the exposure is going to stay locked in, therefore controlling the lighting in your videos. And that's it. Now in this last tip, I want to show you when recording videos how to hold your phone in order to get the most smooth and stable footage possible. Now your phone does have awesome in-body stabilization, therefore you don't necessarily need a gimbal. I personally don't use one, and shout out to Brandon Lee for actually showing me this, but you're going to hold your phone like this and make sure that your fingers are not anywhere near the lens so they don't get in the shot, and then just hold it from the bottom like this. Now you're going to bend at the knees, and then you're going to have one foot or walk with one foot in front of the other, in front of the other, and so on and so forth. Are you going to look kind of weird in public? Yes, maybe, but the results are going to be awesome and you are going to have smooth and stable footage at the end of the day. Well, that's it for today. I hope that these tips really do help you in shooting better videos with your iPhone. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. But thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Peace.